Yeah, that's what I thought. That was weird. I had a little technical glitch before I went live here. But we're live now according to YouTube. So how's it going, guys? Shut that door, Dad. Um, it's too much glare coming from that door being open. How y'all doing? My name is Jared Fuller, aka the Jared Bear. Today's date is Sunday, October 6th, 2024. It is the first Sunday video update for the month of October. Joining me on camera this week is my dad. And then Amy, she's over here off camera. You can't see her. She's got her face buried in her cell phone like a child. Oh, like a child. No. So, lots to go over today. I hope you're all doing well and having a great weekend. And I hope you had a far less stressful week than mine. Um, no, you don't say Luna. Oh, she's like, well, let's not talk about this past week. Uh, no, it's okay, Loon. It's okay. We don't have to talk about anything you don't want to talk about, okay, Pop? So yeah, a lot happened last week. I went to my dentist appointment on was it Friday? Yes, the 4th. And they did x-rays and no further dentist appointments have been scheduled. However, I'm still taking my medication as needed. When I feel even just the slightest bit of throbbing pain, I'll take a Motrin. But I think it's healing up pretty good. Last week, I thought I had a dry socket. As it turns out, I don't. It's just tender skin from where they, did the stitches and pulled the tooth and everything like that. But I'm healing nicely. I'm not feeling any pain. In fact, I had a bit of a sweet tooth today. I went up to Dollar General in Chesaning and got myself a couple of Almond Joy candies, the king size Almond Joy bars. They come 4 in a pack. Oh, I love coconut. So good. But yeah, I had a bit of a sweet tooth. But unfortunately, as I was going down the road, because it's windy today, and I was coming home trying to open it, and one of them slid out of the pack and went on the floorboard. So it's like, oh no, I'm depressed. But the rest of them I did eat, and the other one I threw away. Um, no, Luna didn't get any. No, I ate them on the way home. Uh, and actually, when I was trying to open the first package, I was trying to open it, fell between the center console and my seat, so I couldn't. It's like, God damn it! I'm trying to pull it out, and it's like, come on, fucker! I'm fighting with it, and I got it out, but I think it's the same package. Um, that when I tried to open it, one of the almond joy slid out onto the floorboard, and that just ruined my day. Um, but it got better afterwards, shortly, because I had a mouthful of almond joy candy. I don't eat a lot of candy. Um, Here, you want me to open a window, Dad? Get some air in here. Oh, okay. Um, but yeah, so that's been the crux of my day. After my appointment on Friday, I treated myself to Junction of Hope because my appointment was at 9 o'clock. And it's like, you know what? I think after my appointment, I'm going to go and get something to eat because I'm kind of hungry. I didn't eat anything before my dentist appointment, but I went to the appointment. They did the x rays. And I told him, I said, look, I have a very strong gag reflex. So, I hope this doesn't take long. And she actually told me a little trick. She says, there's one way to beat that. You hold your breath when I put it in and I tell you to bite down, you hold your breath at the same time like that. And it actually worked. Um, and she went in, took pictures of the inside of my mouth. And yeah, then I put food in it after the fact because I was hungry. So, Dad, how was your week? Was it all right? Yeah. Amy, how about you? Pretty good. Mine was just busy. It was wall to wall busy. Um, Thursday was would have been my mom's 62nd birthday. I was drunk all day on Thursday. Um, I'm not a day drinker by any means whatsoever, but I was drinking before noon. And I told Dad, I said, here, Dad, take my keys." And I walked out of my room with we call them tall boys. They're 25-ounce cans of beer, so they're like 2 beers in 1 can. I told him, I said, "I got a buzz." I said, "Here, take my keys." Um, because it's not just my life, it's someone else's life too if I drive drunk. And I don't wanna drive drunk, and I don't wanna put my own life at risk, let alone anyone else's. But dad got me out of the bedroom because I was in a crying, depressed, and I didn't take my medicine on Thursday, but I was in a crying, depressed mood. Was missing my mom, and I had her obituary on my lap. I'm kicked back in my bed, and I got her obituary on my lap. I got a can of beer in this hand, tears in my eyes, and it was a hard day. Um, and the hardest day, I think, is coming up on the 19th because that's gonna be the first anniversary of my mom's death, and I might not have a Sunday video, but then again, I might still do a Sunday video update, um, on the Sunday preceding the 19th, because I think the 19th falls on a Saturday, if I remember what the calendar showed, because I think the 18th was on a Friday. October 19th. Saturday? Okay. Um, and I'll probably go shopping next Saturday too, on that day. So it'll help to take my mind off of some things. I don't plan on drinking on Saturday, because, I'm gonna be preoccupied and busy doing other things, but I will be thinking about my mom. I think about her every day. I miss her like crazy. Um, I've been out to Bronner's and Frankenmuth. I haven't been out there in quite some time, and I had some ornaments personalized and sent to some cancer warriors, and, then I'm gonna go back next month and send out some more. So, looking forward to that. And I dealt with an idiot on Facebook last week too. This is gonna be probably one of the funniest things I've ever talked about. Um, this guy that I've known for years, I thought we were friends, and then he came on my Facebook, and, and I find this to be really synonymous with people who are just waiting for their golden opportunity to be, um, problematic. When I post something that someone might find issue with, they think it's debatable, and then they wait for their opportunity to be arrogant and cocky and nasty on my posts. um, well, I laughed at his comments because he said I was being fake after he complimented me on being a good person for doing a nice gesture for someone. And then he says, "Well, you want people to think you're a saint and blah, blah, blah." And I laughed at his comment because it's like, I am far from being a saint. Anybody who knows me knows that I am furthest from being a saint. I'm not perfect, and I'm okay with that. I'm just, you know what that means by not being perfect? It just means that I'm just as human as anybody else out there. It just means that I'm just as human as anybody out there, including you watching this. I'm so not perfect. I'm so sorry. Um, but to be accused of being a saint because I posted about this one time. So what happened was I was at, Superstar Championship Wrestling. I attended a wrestling event in Owasso. And I think I talked about this last week. Our buddy JR comes out here. He's a wrestler, and he's got his own wrestling company called SCW. He's been on my Sunday video updates, I think maybe once or twice. And his niece was sitting next to me. She's probably like 9 or 10 years old, and she told me she was hungry, so I went and bought her a slice of pizza. He made a big deal, not JR, the guy whom of which I had to block, and, I laughed at his comments because he was being douchey and stupid. Uh, Said, "Well, I would be pissed if someone bought my kid food when I'm sitting right there." Um, so, this that but that's what I don't understand either. They don't so people like that who complain about someone who did a nice gesture for someone else, even if it was their kid, they're still gonna bitch and bellyache because, "Oh, I don't like strangers buying food for my kid," but you complain about living in a world where people are nasty and rotten and selfish and arrogant. Well, I don't think I was being selfish by buying a child a piece of pizza. Yeah, yeah. And but this one instance where I posted, and it wasn't to brag or gloat, it was to make a point. It was to make the point that there are still good people in the world, and it was just a regular happening in my life. I wasn't bragging about it, but the grandmother of this child was kind of, well, you didn't have to get her anything. Well, there's a lot of things I don't have to do, but because I'm a human being and I have a heart and I give a fuck, if a child tells me they're hungry, I'm just going to get them something to eat. I don't care if it takes the last dollars out of my pocket. I don't care if it's the last little bit of food I have on my kitchen shelf. If a kid comes in here and says they're hungry, they're eating. Period. Um, and I don't care who gets mad. I don't care who doesn't like it. But we never get to a point where we don't have food in this house. Yeah, we get low sometimes, but we never totally completely run out. Um, and I had speaking of food, but I'm gonna wrap up the last point. And the guy I blocked on Facebook, he actually took a screenshot of the post I made and tried to blow it up into something it wasn't, but he was calling me fake. So who's being fake now, you hypocrite douchebag? Your ass is blocked, and that's where you're gonna stay. So if you see me in public, don't say hi. Just don't even don't even acknowledge me, bro. Don't even acknowledge me because if you do, there's going to be trouble. Um, Not trouble in fist fight, trouble in if you say anything to me, I'm going to say something back. And then you know what he said. You know what else he said to top that off to finish that? He says, "Well, that's kind of creepy, and people are going to find out about you." Yes, they're going to find out that I give a fuck about people and that I'm not a saint. That's what they're going to find out. You called me a saint, and clearly I'm not. And when they find out that I'm actually not a saint, when you accuse me of being a saint, they're not going to be surprised because no one is. So go fuck yourself. And speaking of food, I actually had an idea with egg noodles. And this just might work because it sounds good, even saying it. So I don't know what's going on under the couch. He's digging for something. I don't know. But you take a bag of egg noodles and you get some butter, a little bit of milk, some water. You boil it. You put some garlic salt on it, mix it all together in a pan. Huh? Get some hamburger. Well, fry or boil the noodles first. Then add the hamburger and, bring it to a boil, stir it real good. And I don't know, it might all cook together. Butter, milk, and water, maybe a little bit of garlic salt, and then add some hamburger. Fry up some hamburger, cut it up real good, throw it in with the egg noodles. It might be good. What kind of meat, Dad? I just said hamburger, but you could probably use chicken. Hell, you might even be able to make a chicken Alfredo with that. You can add the Alfredo sauce or steak, yeah. Yeah, that would be good. That would be really good. Um, yeah, steak would be good. But yeah, that's just an idea. That might be something I'm gonna try. Yeah, just chop it up, or maybe even a chicken breast. Just cut up a nice chicken breast and throw it in. Um, yeah, because that sounds really good. But I might try that. I might get the stuff for that when I go shopping on the 19th. Is there something going on under the couch, Scruffy? Lose a toy? But anyway, moving on because I don't want dead air. We've got some comments in the chat by none other than Chewing Off My Toenail. I already read these comments to Dad and Amy, which I don't think they'll be any less funnier if I read them again. He says, My toenails are so long that I learned how to play Beethoven's Fifth on the grand piano. Um, then he says, when I go fishing for salmon, I use my toenails instead of fishing hooks to catch those bad boys. um,
Dad says that all the time.
yeah, he does say that. And then he says, I caught my wife with my toenail. Oh boy. I don't know if she'll appreciate this, but he says, once I was able to work that toenail into the inside of her cheek, there was no getting away. Which cheek are we talking about here, toenail? Her ass cheek or the cheek on her face? I'm maybe this one. I don't know. Um, he goes on to say, I will save my green crusty toenails in a baggie so I can mix them in with my honey nut Cheerios and sugar. Yeah, Amy's over here shaking her head like, yeah, I don't think I want honey nut Cheerios anymore.
Nope.
And then last but not least, chewing off my toenail says, after vacuuming my living room floor, I will take my vacuum cleaner apart and dig out the toenails we're saving. You're going to take your whole vacuum cleaner apart just to take out your toenails and to add them to whatever strange but oddly funny enough concoction that you come up with. Thanks a lot, toenail. That's good stuff. Another week of laughter from chewing off my toenail. So this week, I don't know what I'm doing this week. Today is the 6th.
I know what I'm doing tomorrow.
Tomorrow's Monday.
Yep. I've got an eye doctor's appointment.
Owasso?
Chesaning.
Chesaning.
And then after that, go to the grocery stores.
Yeah.
And then after that,
it's probably the wind, Luna.
I have a 7:00 appointment with my therapist.
I'll check the cameras just to be sure, because you never know. Because I heard it too, Luna. So nope, no one's here. It's just windy today. That's all.
Yeah.
It's just windy out there, baby. Don't worry about it. No one's here.
Windy.
Yep, it's windy. And it is windy today. We're under a red flag warning. No outdoor burning. There's a burning ban. She's getting sick.
Yes.
You getting sick over there? You better not be.
Oh, she got a toy.
You better not be getting sick over there, girl. Let me hold on a minute, guys. I'm going to go see if my dog just puked on my floor. 1 second.
If not, she just grabbed her toy.
No, she didn't get sick. Don't do that to me, girl. No, she didn't get sick. She was just grabbing a toy. So tomorrow, October 7th. Tomorrow is actually another day that I have to recognize, because 35 years ago tomorrow, or no, I'm sorry, 38 years ago tomorrow, my grandma Beulah passed away. Yeah, she died on October 7th, 1986 in Owasso, my mom's mom. She was 61, my grandma was. She passed away as a result of congestive heart failure at Owasso Memorial. And by the time Mom and Dad got there, she was already gone. Because I guess Uncle Rick stopped him on the highway and said, yeah, Mom's in the hospital. She took a turn for the worse. She's not doing well. So she died before Mom and Dad got to the hospital. But she next year, on June 16th of next year, my grandma Beulah would have been 100 years old. So yeah, tomorrow's kind of a day. Although I don't remember my grandma Beulah. I was just a baby when she passed away. I was 3 months old, or almost 3 months old. But Mom said that she held me, she kissed me all over my face, and she said, "Oh, I have such a beautiful grandbaby," and she knew something was wrong before the cancer. I mean, I don't know how she did it. I don't know how she knew, but my dad could probably confirm this. She laid me she lied me flat on my I think she put me on my back. I'm trying to remember how Ma told the story.
Hey, Jared needs help with a story.
But I was just a baby. She lied me flat. I think it was on my back. And then she gently passed her hand over me, not touching me, but she came really close. And she told mom and dad, get this baby into a hospital, get this baby looked at. And mom's like, nah, he's fine, Ma. And she died October 7th, 1986. And I was diagnosed with Wilms tumor on March 2nd, 1989. So grandma knew. She didn't know exactly what was going on. She didn't know that it was cancer, but she knew. I don't know how, but she knew that something was not right. And so, um, yeah, that's a story that mom told me time and time again, and it just stuck with me. Um, but yeah, it was an interesting story for mom to tell. But tomorrow, my grandma will be gone for 38 years. She would have been 99. This Oh, my eye's twitching. Ooh. She would have been 99 on June 16th of this year, and then next year she would have been 100. My eye doesn't stop twitching. I think it's too much pop. I went to Walmart last week because I saw this box of ink pens. I noticed this from the last time I was there, and there was like 100 ink pens in a box. And I went back last week, hoping that it would still be there, and I couldn't find it. So someone must have really liked the deal. They liked it, and they swooped up. They bought it from underneath of me. Yeah, and it could be teachers. Um, Now that Ma told me, Dad's joining us again. Ma told me that when I was a baby, Grandma Beulah, she laid me on her back, or laid me on my back. I'm sorry, on her lap, and then she gently passed her hand over me, like not touching me, but coming close. And she told you and mom, get this baby checked out. She knew. I don't know how the fuck she would have known that, but grandma knew. And 3 years later, I would be diagnosed with cancer. But yeah, tomorrow, grandma will be gone for 38 years. Yep. October 7th, 1986. Oh, I watched an episode of Mama's Family on CMT the other night, and Betty White was actually on it. It was dated October 11th, 1986. She, Betty White, reprised her role of Ellen Harper, and she was getting an operation, is what it was. And I know it was in 1986 because by that time the cast of characters had changed. It was Iola was there in the episode. Bubba Higgins was in the episode, and of course Vinton and Naomi. What the fuck was that? He was in the garbage?
Luna's taught him a lot of bad habits. I will admit that.
Something else to have to break him of. But it was in 1986. And during this time, Betty White was also on Golden Girls playing the role of Rose Nyland. So she was going back and forth between two shows, or at least for that one episode, she made a guest appearance on Mama's Family as Ellen. Because if you remember, in the beginning of the series of Mama's Family, it had Betty White as Ellen, Rue McClanahan as Aunt Fran, Carol Burnett as Eunice. You still had Mama and Vinton and Naomi. Then you have Buzz and Sonia, and then yeah, you had all the regular characters, but you had like Carol Burnett, Betty White, Rue McClanahan, and then later on in the series and syndication, the cast of characters changed. But Betty White appeared one final time in 1986 when I was a baby. She was on Mama's Family. That's kind of cool. So just a little hint of the Carol Burnett show lingered on even in October of 1986. with Betty White playing the role of Ellen, because on the original run of the Carol Burnett show, when those family sketches were being written and performed, Betty White was Ellen Harper, even in the Carol Burnett sketches. But the show itself, Mama's Family, was a spinoff of the Carol Burnett show sketches, and it lasted from 1983 until 1990. So I remember Mama's Family very well when I was a kid. So I had maybe just a little part of the Carol Burnett show. I was born during the run of Mama's Family because it was based off the family sketches from the Carol Burnett show, which, by the way, the Mama and Eunice sketch characters came out. They debuted in 1973, and boy, did they nailed those parts down. Oh, and you can't forget Harvey Korman. Harvey Korman appeared in Mama's Family in the early episodes because he was Ed Higgins. It's Eunice, Ed and Eunice. Yeah, so it was just funny to see Iola Boylan and Ellen Harper and Bubba Higgins. We didn't see her in Saginaw. We seen her in Bay City. And Amy's talking about Vicki Lawrence. We saw her in Bay City, both as herself and as Mama Harper. It would have, and I love Vicki Lawrence. She originally come out with the song The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia. Reba did a fantastic cover version of that song, but it was really originally Vicki Lawrence who come out with that. And I remember Mom telling me, Vicki Lawrence, this lady who plays Mama Harper, she actually come out with The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia. And at first I'm thinking, nah, that doesn't sound right. I thought Mom was pulling my leg. No, Mom was telling the truth. She did. Vicki Lawrence did. And she nailed it perfectly. And Reba did a really good job with it. I like Reba's version too, but Vicki Lawrence, I don't know if she wrote it, but I know she sang it. Actually, you know what? Because my curiosity is aroused, now I have to see let's see, Google, who wrote the song The Night the Lights, who wrote the song The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia? Bobby Russell had written that song, but Vicki Lawrence sang it. She originally sang it. And I was watching YouTube where Vicki Lawrence was on Laverne and Shirley. She was Sergeant Plout on Laverne and Shirley. Now, see, I could have swore that Vicki Lawrence played the role of a cop on Happy Days, but I don't think it was Happy Days. It looked like her, but I don't think it was her. I don't think it was Vicki Lawrence. I know she was a sergeant on Laverne and Shirley. And she was just as funny as a sergeant, and she sounded just like Mama Harper on Laverne and Shirley when she was playing the role of Sergeant Plout. Just funny stuff. Yeah, I guess you just never, you learn something old every day, because if you don't know it, it's only new to you when you learn it in that moment. So, yeah, it's just really cool. I always used to think, though, that Vicki Lawrence played the role of a cop on Happy Days. But I think I might even be getting that mixed up, because what if that was Cindy Williams who played the role of a cop on Happy Days? I bet you anything it was Cindy Williams. Let me see here. Let me look this up. I love Google. I just love Google. It's my fucking best friend. It's everything you need is like right at Google, right at your fingertips. Yeah, Cindy Williams died last year. American Graffiti, Laverne and Shirley. I love Laverne and Shirley. I love that show. I used to watch it when I was a kid. I used to watch the reruns and Happy Days. Let me see. I think Cindy Williams was a cop on Happy Days. Because Happy Days, one of them I think was a spinoff of the other, but I could be wrong. I know there's a connection. Yep, Laverne and Shirley, Happy Days. Yep, she was Shirley on Happy Days, so she was her own character. Well, who was the cop on Happy Days then? There was a cop. I remember seeing an episode of Happy Days with a cop, and it was a female. I know it was Happy Days. It's gonna drive me crazy. The female cop on Happy Days. Linda Pearl, she was on Matlock. Pat Morita, yep, he was Arnold. Gloria, what was the name of the cop? Officer Kirk. No, maybe I'm getting my shows mixed up, guys. I don't know, but I could have swore there was a woman cop because she was chewing gum and she was twirling the nightstick. That's how I remember it, because she was in uniform, she was chewing gum, and she was twirling the nightstick around. I don't remember where I saw that. I thought it was Happy Days or Laverne and Shirley, one of them. I guess I don't know. Let's see, Weekend at Bernie's. Oh yeah, I remember this. Weekend at Bernie's. We were watching My Cousin Vinny on CMT, and now it's Weekend at Bernie's. Andrew McCarthy, Jonathan Silverman, and Terry Kaiser. Yep, Andrew McCarthy from Pretty in Pink. Him right there, that guy, with a cigarette in his mouth and wearing the roller skates. And Weekend at Bernie's come out in 1989. Yep. No, after I was born. I was born in 86. I had cancer in 89, so it came out the year I had cancer. I was just little. I was a little shit. I was 3 years old in 1989. So what else can we talk about this week? Dad actually suggested that I come up with an itinerary of things to talk about, and I have mentioned this any number of times before. I just never come up with it. And yeah, maybe I should, because I tend to run out of things to say, and then I just go off the rails and start rambling about random things. We lost Chris Christopherson last week. Hell of an actor. Loved his music. Chris Christopherson was 88 years old. We lost James Earl Jones. We lost John Amos, the dad from Good Times. A lot of greats, just a lot of greats. We're losing them left and right. So now Willie Nelson is the only surviving Highwayman. Because if you can remember the Highwaymen, if you're old enough to remember the Highwaymen, as do I, you'll remember that the Highwaymen consisted of Willie Nelson, Chris Christopherson, Johnny Cash, and Waylon Jennings. Well, Johnny, Waylon, and Chris are gone, so now Willie is the only surviving Highwayman. And he's up there in age. He's in his 90s now. He's not a spring chicken. But he still smokes his Mary J, and yeah, he's still kicking. Yeah, who knows? He can still pick. He can still get his voice right where it needs to be. Oh, and you know what? I almost forgot. We're a half hour into the show, and I have to promote my buddy's Sunday night radio show, because Dan Richards is like my favorite guy on the radio. So I can't play the music live because I don't want to get hit with a copyright, which is why the TV is always muted. But tonight is the Fox Sunday Flashback with my good buddy Dan Richards. There's 3 ways that you can place your request. You can go on Facebook. You can message his official Fox Sunday Flashback with Dan Richards Facebook page. You can call toll free, area code 810-232-9777, which spells out WRSR. Those are the call letters for the station. Or you can email Dan directly, flashback at classicfox.com. Again, that's flashback at classicfox.com. I will leave a link to the radio station's website so you can listen live from anywhere in the world. Listen live to the Fox Sunday Flashback with Dan Richards. He was we we were talking last week about the Rendersella story by Archie Campbell from the TV show Hee Haw. It's the story of Cinderella but told backwards. Well, I was out at the Pine Run Inn last week, and I come up with my own backward story, although I can't remember right off. Not right off the top of my head. I had to write it down on a piece of paper when I was sitting there. And he was actually talking about coming up with his own little skit, him and his wife Georgianne. And I think it would be brilliant. And I told him, if you need help writing it, let me know. I could maybe contribute some of my thoughts or whatever. And we were also talking about, what were we talking about? Oh, sorry, I got distracted on my phone. We were also talking about, like for next year when I go to the the Michigan Country Music Hall of Fame Award show out in Charlotte, talking about maybe writing, going in together and writing a little skit, a funny little piece for the show. And if you know who Waylon Hamill is, he's a Nashville recording artist. I saw him last week out at the Pine Run Inn. He is co-writing some stuff with one of the greats. His name is Bernie Nelson. He had written the song Daddy Never Was a Cadillac Kind, which is covered by Confederate Railroad. And I'm friends with Bernie, and Bernie is a hell of a nice guy, very religious, unlike me, of course. But Bernie has written a lot of wonderful songs. He co-writes music with Waylon Hamill. He co-writes music with Leah Williams, which Leah's a sweetheart. Love Leah. Met her quite a few times. He has co-written music with a lot of country greats. And so I got connections, folks. I got people. Yeah. We were at the Pine Run Inn last week, and Waylon Hamill was sitting at the table with his group of people. Dad knows what I'm talking about. It was me, Dad, and my buddy Kenny. We're sitting at our usual spot at the Pine Run Inn because Dan's, playing his music and doing the Monday flashback, 6:30 to 8:30, by the way, on Monday nights. And Dad turned around and he tried to get Waylon's attention. And he says, Waylon, hey, Waylon. I told Dad, I said, you're not speaking loud enough. He can't hear you. So you got to, and Dad, and the loudest, his voice echoed in the fucking bar. He says, Waylon! And he jumped and turned around. And he says, oh, hey. And Dan, but we all fell over laughing. I about fell out of my chair laughing my ass off. Dan, he laughed his ass off. It's like, I can't take my dad anywhere. He's shouting at people. What the fuck? But it was a lot of fun. Dad's like, Waylon! And your voice echoed throughout the whole fucking bar. And Dan laughed. I laughed. Kenny laughed. And he finally shook your hand. Well, shit, if someone shouted at me, I think I'd shake your hand too. But Dad, I can't believe you did that. I didn't dare you either. I didn't dare you. When I dare you, I don't dare this man to do anything, because he'll fucking do it.
I still remember the time when we were at Wendy's. And you come
oh my God.
Dad, you wanted the drive-through lady.
Yeah, I told Dad, because I was just kidding around. I told Dad, I said, I would love to get the phone number of this girl working in the drive-through. He says, you dare me? It's like, oh shit, yeah, I dare you. And Dad looked right at her and he says, my son wants your phone number. And she slammed the door in his face. And I learned my lesson that day that I can't take my dad with me anywhere because if I dare you, motherfucker, you're gonna do it.
Another one he likes to get you on is no deer.
Yeah, he'll say, "Hey, Jared, look, what? No deer." Well, cool, thanks. It's never dare this guy because he'll do whatever you dare him to do. I learned my lesson the hard way. But yeah, good times. It was fun last week.
I learned too. You don't go out and tell dad, hey, I think this guy's looking pretty good.
Yeah.
He'll come out at the
Hey, my dad
racetrack.
said you're looking pretty good.
Hey,
Hey, my girlfriend thinks you're cute. My
Yeah.
girlfriend thinks you're hot.
I would too. I do it. 'Cause I have done it.
yes, he
That's what she's telling me. Let me check.
My neighbors.
Hold on, guys. Hold on. Let me look. Seasonal allergies are kicking my butt this week. No one's here, guys. No one's here, Luna. You're good. Hey. I appreciate you being a watchdog, but I don't want to yell at her too much because I don't want to discourage her from barking when she hears noises because that's what good watchdogs do. Her bark though is something. It's ferocious.
You remember the other day when the neighbors were out?
Yeah, I mean
What was she doing to get to the screen?
she jumped right up on this thing out here on the cooler out by the door. She jumped right up on it and she was looking out and she was like, "Rrr." She was growling and barking. And it's like, girl, just calm down. It's the neighbors. It's Jim and stuff. Just relax. But it's good that she does that because,
And
if anybody, if they so much as hear a car door shut,
she does not like people in uniforms.
We have to put her in the bedroom when people come over.
yeah, we're gonna have to.
'Cause she's growling at.
She was growling and barking. Yeah, she don't like people in uniform either.
No, we had
So if the
animal
postman,
control. We
yeah.
had animal control out here.
It's
and
okay.
She was going after
It's okay.
Paige,
Oh,
and Paige come out and said, "Take her back in."
come here, Luna, come here,
What's he doing?
come here. You're not in trouble, honey. Come here, baby. Come and see me.
Get up there.
Oh, you wanna play? Here, say hi, baby. Oh, she went back down. You're not in trouble. We just
Now she's wanting to play.
Scruffy, he's barking because he wants to. You want to play, Scruff? You're wagging your tail, barking at her. Barkley, he's a senior citizen dog. He's up there in age.
He's just kind of
He's
trying to get comfortable.
just moving slower and slower. It's what life does, huh, buddy? That aging process is a bitch, isn't it? Yeah. Luna, that's enough. Thank you, but please stop now. You did your job. Thank you. Thank you, baby. She looks at me like, what? I can bark if I want to. What do you expect me to do? Meow?
Yep.
Yeah. You know how much money we could make if we could make our dog meow? 3 dogs.
My dog says hell no.
3 dogs, 3 people. If we can make all 3 of our dogs meow, we'd be sitting on some money.
Hell no.
Oh yeah, Barky, he'll say hell no. All the time.
Go out? Hell no.
Hell no. It's cute. But he's getting up there in age. He's an old feller. Yeah. But this week, I don't know what my plans are. I don't know if I'm going out to the Pine Run Inn tomorrow night, but I do know I got some more shout out videos I have to record for my other channel. There's going to be a new string of them appearing. Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that because I almost forgot about that. Yes, sir. You're absolutely right. I might go out to the Pine Run Inn tomorrow night. Thank you very much. So, on the Pine Run Inn's Facebook page, I'm so glad you brought that up. on the Pine Run Inn's Facebook page. Okay, they if you follow the page and if you comment, you're automatically entered into this drawing to be, customer of the month or follower of the month or some shit like that. And I'm a regular out there at the Pine Run Inn, and I comment on all their shit. I share their posts. I do all the cool stuff. And I was out at Hope with Dad and Amy last week at the Junction of Hope. And I was talking with Dan Richards in Messenger, and he says, "Hey, did you see this?" And he sent it to me. And it was a screenshot of winner Jared Fuller, follower of the month. It's like, what the I thought someone was just talking shit again. And it's like, well, let me go to the page and check that out. So I tapped on it, scrolled up, and it said winner Jared Fuller on follower of the month. And I won a $20 gift card from the Pine Run Inn. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me? I was the only one who won out of 3,200 entries. They put it into a random generator kind of a thing, and my name was pulled out of 3,200 people. It's like, holy shit. And or for any, just me in general, because I have like the worst luck. And now the tractors are going down the road again, because I have the worst luck when it comes to things like that. Yeah, I have the worst luck. But I was shocked. And Dad and Amy had left before I did. They left Hope before I did because Dad took his truck and I had my own vehicle. And I called Dad and I said, "Hey, I got to go out to Pine Run Inn. I got to go out to Billy's." And he says, "Why? What's up?" I said, I won something. I won a prize. And I explained to him, I said, "Yeah, out of 3,200 participants, my name was pulled. I'm the follower of the month, and I won a $20 gift card." Well, when I got out there, I come walking through the door and I'm just back again this week. You just can't keep me away. And she says, "Well, hey, what are you doing here?" I said, "I'm your winner." And they're like, "That's you? You're the Jared Fuller? We never knew your last name." I said, "That'd be me. That is me." And so they gave me the $20 gift card. And so, yeah, as a matter of fact, I will be out there tomorrow night. How does a Murphy basket sound? What do you got planned tomorrow, Dad?
I don't know yet. Probably nothing. I don't know.
$20 should cover 2 of those Murphy baskets. It should.
I ain't got the money.
Well, then we'll go out there tomorrow. It's covered. I got it.
Only got the cups.
But yeah, I was shocked when I won that. It's like, no shit, really? Like, I got the worst luck in the world, but not this time. I was actually lucky this time.
I was lucky the other night, huh, Jared?
Oh yeah.
When you played your 2 numbers.
I played my 2 numbers at the back 40 on Club Keno, Michigan Lottery Club Keno. Couldn't win shit. Dad plays my 2 numbers,
3-time kicker.
and my numbers come up with a 3-time kicker. It's like, yeah, they couldn't pay me, but they'll fucking pay you.
$33.
Which I'm glad. I mean, one of us hit anyway, which I'm happy about that. But yeah, you were really close. Yeah, I never have. I just
5, 18, 79, and then 19, 6, and 80.
Yeah, you've got too many sets of numbers that you play. I don't know how the hell you can keep track of all of them, because I only have maybe a couple sets of numbers I play, and I stick to them because they pay. Yeah.
And they're 4-digit.
Yeah, you got 4 numbers. I have a set of 5 numbers I usually play, and they do come up, by the way.
Sometimes I'll throw Lucky 13 in there, but Lucky 13 ain't been lucky.
I'm not going to tell you what my numbers are, because other people will play them and then I won't win because too many people will play. Huh? Yeah, my number combination will come up and somebody else will be playing them, and if they pay out too much money, by the time I play it, I won't win. But that's not true either. But I have a set of 5 numbers I play, a set of 4 numbers I play, and a set of 2 numbers I play. So I have 3 different sets of numbers that I play. And I stick to them. Dad, he's got multiple sets of numbers he plays. I don't know how he keeps track of all that shit. What? Yeah. Yeah. But I would rather play the Daily 3 instead of Club Keno. I don't know. It's just, yeah, Club Keno's a draw game, but with the Daily 3, you can win a lot of money if your numbers come up. And I like the Daily 3. The most I've won on the Daily 3 drawing was $500. That's the most I've ever won on the lottery, $500. And I haven't been able to do it since. It's been a long while since I've won $500. But yeah, that's the most I've ever won on the Michigan lottery. At the casino, the most I'd ever won was $1,400. I won $1,400 between 2 nights. I won $600 the first night and $800 the second night. I was playing the double red, white, and blue stars, and they're dollar machines. Stuck $100 bill in it, and it was double star, red 7 or something like that, or I forget the combination, but I won some good money, and that was a fun night. But they took those machines out. Now they got all this digital fucking virtual shit in there, and I don't like that. And of course, I have no desire, at least not right away, of going back to Mount Pleasant. It's where Mom died, and I haven't been back there in a year. There's other casinos around Michigan. There's Firekeepers down in Battle Creek. There's Saguenay Eagles Landing up in Standish. Then there's Kewadin up across the bridge. There's other casinos I can go to. There's the MGM Grand in Detroit, which I'll never go to that one. But there are other casinos to go to. I might try that Firekeepers once. If I make it down that way again, and if I've got the extra cash, I would like to try that one out. Huh?
He just fucking cut himself, Jared. Catch up, you mother.
Yeah, and it's not even April Fool's. Halloween's coming up. She was convinced. You guys didn't see that. You guys didn't see that. Dad put some ketchup on his finger. He says, "Don't ever wash your hands in a cup like this, because look." And Amy says, "He cut the fuck out of his hand." And then Dad goes, "It was ketchup. He got you. He saw you a mile away, Amy."
He always sees me a mile away.
Because you're so easy to convince. It's funny.
Between you and
Picking
him,
on ya.
both know how to pick on me.
Yeah, why not? It's fun. Because we know that you're gullible and you'll fall for it.
Hey, I'm a city slicker. I'm not a country slicker, so I don't know.
A
the
country
difference.
slicker? There's no such thing. City slicker or country folk. I'm a country folk. And you've been out here for over 20 years, so I guess you're qualified as a country person, although I still have to get some of my neighbors used to the fact that these aren't streets out here. These are fucking roads out here. We don't have streets in the country. We have roads. When you get in town, those are streets. Out here, these are roads. You don't call them streets anymore, though, do you?
Where?
Out here, you don't
No,
refer
no.
to them as streets anymore.
No, I used to.
She used to when she first started coming out here. Now, my neighbor down the road, he still calls these streets, and they're not streets, bro. They're not streets, bro. These are roads. These are all country roads out here. Now, what?
In town,
Those are streets.
those are streets.
Streets. But what I think is weird, like when you get up into like Mecosta County, Michigan, they've got all the roads out there are numbered, and they're referred to as avenue.
Kind of like,
45th Avenue, 20th Avenue.
yeah, like
That's weird.
in Saginaw, down by Jane Street.
Well, that's Saginaw.
There's 12th. and
Well,
all
yeah, but
that.
those are streets. When you're out in Mecosta County in the country, they refer to them as avenues.
Oh,
When you're out like this out in the country, 20th Avenue, 45th Avenue,
wow.
35th Avenue. It's weird.
Yeah.
But in Saginaw, yeah, that's the city. That's still city limits right there. But in the country, that's not usual. That's not. We don't normally have avenues in the country. Um, but it's Michigan. It's Michigan. Maybe it's not just Michigan. Maybe it's other states too. I have no clue. Um,
I don't know, but it's enough to drive you nuts with all these streets and roads.
yeah, I'm used to it.
I know some of the streets and roads. Local.
Yeah, I'm used to. I know my way around Chesaning and Saginaw too. Truth be told, um, my buddy Robbie didn't come in this week.
I keep telling Dad that the thing I want to do is practice the driving again.
Yeah.
And have you.
Oh, show you how to do it, how to drive. It's
I mean, yeah, I understand it's simple.
once you get the hang of it, it's easy.
It's being in a car
Yeah.
with a stranger that I do not know.
And when they're shouting at you and like making you nervous behind the wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
Where I'd rather have them do like you, just be quiet and tell
Yeah.
me which way to go, whatever.
or tell you slow down
Yeah.
or speed it up.
Yeah. I know
Um
you're not going to hit the side of the vehicle saying, "Oh, what would you do
Yeah.
if that was a deer?"
Yeah. So I'm friends with a cancer where we're talking about driving. I'm friends with a cancer survivor, actually. I've been friends with her for years now. She's learning how to drive. She's at the age now. And she is wanting to give up. She wants to throw in the towel. Driving is too hard. And I had to remind her that driving, you've already been through the hardest moments of your life. Driving, on the other hand, is a privilege and it's fun. Yes, you're going to have to pay. It's costly. Owning a vehicle is costly. It doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter where you live. Owning a vehicle is it's just costly. There's no way to get around that. You have to pay for the maintenance, you got to pay for the gas, you got to pay for the insurance, the registration, the tax, all that stuff. You got to pay for all that stuff. Owning a vehicle is costly. It's just something you got to live with. But she is in training. She's learning how to drive, learning how to park. She's been practicing in parking lots, learning how to park into the spaces, learning how to, drive in reverse and pull forward. And I told her, I said, you are a cancer survivor. You're a cancer survivor. You've already been through the hardest points of your life. And you're going to tell me with a clear conscience that driving is too hard and you're just going to quit. I don't know if she watches my live streams, but I hope that my point to her was loud and clear, because if she can accomplish, and it's not saying that kids who don't survive cancer, they're not, you know what I'm saying. It doesn't mean that they're not worthy or not strong enough or capable. It just means that she survived cancer and she wants to throw in the towel because driving is just too hard. Well, I'm sorry, sweetheart. You've overcome far worse things that were difficult and taxing and challenging. And here you are today. And I'm grateful for that. And I love you. I don't know if you watched my live streams, but I love you. And I'm probably going to message you after I'm done with this. So we are officially at the 4:00 hour already. That hour went by kind of quick again this week. My name is Jared Fuller, aka the Jared Bear. I thank you so much for joining me this week for another edition of the Sunday Video Update. Listen to the Fox Sunday Flashback tonight with Dan Richards, Flint's Classic Rock Authority, 103.9 The Fox, tonight at 7:00 Eastern Time. 4 hours of classic country, classic rock, and outlaw country. You're going to love it. So go and check them out. Dad, Amy, final words? Dad's in the kitchen doing the dishes. Got any final words before we go, Pop?
Yep,
Be
be safe. And
safe.
neighbors every once in a while.
Check on your neighbors once in a while.
Take care of your animals.
Take care of your animals.
Older out.
Yeah, it's starting to get cold, especially at night. Amy, any final words?
Peace out. Be safe.
That it?
Have a good day.
Peace out. Be safe. Have a good day. And pretty much the same rings true for me. I love you all very much. I will be back next week on the 13th. Click the bell, the notification bell, so that way you'll be notified when I go live next week. It's already set up and it's easy to do. You just click on that. If you're subscribed, you click on that and you'll be notified. So I love you all very much. Have a wonderful week. I'm going to be busy again this week. So take care, spread love and kindness everywhere, and just never stop trying to make the world a better place. I'll see you next week, guys. Bye-bye.